at least at this point in the general election. Let's talk about all of this with Mr. Trump's running mate, Republican vice presidential nominee and Indiana Governor Mike Pence. Governor Pence, great to have you back on the program.
Oh, great to be with you, Jenna. Thanks for having me on.
A lot of different reports, so we'll just work through one by one. Let's start with what happened with Donald Trump not endorsing Paul Ryan, the Speaker of the House. You're a former member of Congress. What's going on there?
Well, I think what Donald Trump said is he's not there yet. These are two men that are building a good relationship, and I'm very confident. After Donald Trump's elected president and Paul Ryan's reelected to Congress and as Speaker of the House, these two men are going to do great things to restore this country at home and abroad.
Why are you confident about that after seeing the exchanges between the two of them?
Well, look, politics, it takes time to have relationships together. I strongly support Paul Ryan, strongly endorse his reelection. He's a longtime friend. He's a strong conservative leader. I believe we need Paul Ryan in leadership in the Congress of the United States to rebuild our military, to strengthen our economy, and to ensure that we have the kind of leadership in this country that will make America great again.
We understand your point of view on it, and having the presidential nominee maybe not being as forthcoming with that same view leads some to believe that the Republican Party is a little out of step with each other. Is that the case? What are people to make of it?
No, not at all. I talked to Donald Trump this morning about my support for Paul Ryan, our longtime friendship. He strongly encouraged me to endorse Paul Ryan in next Tuesday's primary, and I'm pleased to do it. But look, this is all part of a process of bringing a party together after, Jenna, what you know, was a very competitive primary process. And this is an extraordinarily challenging time in the life of our country. I mean, literally, 7.5 years of Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton's policies have weakened America's place in the world and stifled our nation's economy. And Donald Trump has a vision to get this economy moving again, to rebuild our military, to stand with our allies and stand up to our enemies, and ensuring that we bring everyone together on the team is going to continue to be a work in progress, but it's all going to come together, and I'm confident based on the crowds that we're seeing. I was in Nevada yesterday. I was in Arizona. I'm in Colorado today. The enthusiasm out there across this country for Donald Trump's message and his vision is just overwhelming.
So Donald Trump, being who he is the reason why we've seen such incredible turnout and such incredible crowds. And now we're getting these reports that John Roberts just mentioned to us that despite all of that, that perhaps there's some sort of intervention being planned for Donald Trump this weekend from some other high-profile Republicans. What can you tell us about that?
I talk to Donald Trump just about every day, and look, you're always going to hear these inside baseball discussions. I've never heard anything about a meeting of that kind. Donald Trump is off to Florida today. I've got town halls and rallies here in Colorado. He and I will be campaigning together Friday. This campaign is totally focused on strengthening America at home and abroad. Donald Trump has a vision. He has the candor. He has the personal courage to be able to drive this nation forward. And we've also got to do our part to make sure that the American people understand the disastrous record of Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. I mean, I think most Americans are reeling this morning to find out that there was $400 million worth of cash that was delivered to Iran at the same time that they were releasing 4 American hostages. I mean, Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama have essentially put a price tag on the head of every American traveling abroad in violation of long-standing American policy about paying ransom or doing deals with terrorists.
We've heard from the State Department, in fact, on Fox News just a few hours ago, and they say again this is not ransom, that the timing is just a coincidence, and there's really no there. What's your reaction to that line coming from the administration?
Well, it's who you're going to believe, me or your own eyes. I mean, the fact of the matter is that there was testimony before the Senate that said there was no American cash involved, and Jenna, now this story breaks. And I understand there's video about pallets of cash being delivered. In the last 24 hours, the Ayatollah al-Khamenei referred to the relationship with America as deadly poison and distanced himself from the very nuclear deal that Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton are celebrating. I mean, look, the foreign policy of this administration has resulted in the wider Arab world literally spinning apart. And the American people know that Donald Trump is going to provide the kind of leadership that will rebuild our military, stand with our allies, stand up to our opponents, and will confront and destroy ISIS at its source.
The picture that you painted this administration, the administration that Hillary Clinton was a part of, is pretty dismal. And if the American public does believe you, then why are other high-profile Republicans like Meg Whitman, for example, coming out despite all of that and saying, I don't support Donald Trump, I actually support Hillary Clinton?
Well, look, people are entitled to their own opinions, but they're not entitled to their own facts. I mean, the truth of the matter is that the president earlier this week actually talked about Donald Trump lacking the judgment to serve in the highest office in the land. I got to tell you, you look at the judgment of this administration, of Hillary Clinton as Secretary of State. You look at the decision to withdraw troops from Iraq, Jenna, without a status of forces agreement and create a vacuum in which ISIS was born and compromised large portions of that country that was secured by American soldiers.
Pence,
you look at the disastrous agreement that Hillary Clinton instigated with Iran, and then of course you look at Benghazi, where literally this administration left Americans in harm's way.
I only have a minute here, and the list that you mentioned is a list that a lot of our viewers are very familiar with. The question that it comes down to, though, is why do you believe Donald Trump would make better decisions than this administration? What does he offer to the American people that is drastically different and something that they could have confidence in, that he is going to maintain good decision-making leadership as the commander-in-chief?
Well, what he's going to provide is leadership. I mean, under this administration, Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton have actually celebrated an American foreign policy that leads from behind. Donald Trump will lead from the front. He will bring together our allies. He will rebuild our military. He will stand with those who stand with us, and he will confront and destroy those that threaten our freedom. I think that's the reason why, we saw the huge crowds in Reno the other night, why he's seeing huge crowds as he's traveling around the country, because the American people know a leader when they see it, and they know that Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton's weak foreign policy has essentially left the world spinning apart, and they want to see a leader like Donald Trump in the White House that's going to make America strong at home and abroad.
We're going to have to leave it there. Governor Pence, thank you so much for joining us in the program. We look forward to having you back.